At the start of the season, did I think that Crystal Palace would make it this far in the Carabao Cup? Absolutely not. Welcome back to Palace Mad Mason. What's going on, guys? It's Mason here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm sure you've all seen the result from last night. It's the morning after I was working at Tottenham again, so I couldn't do it straight away. Full time at Villa Park in the last 16 of the Carabao Cup. Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 2. Again, nice shade of green. We're going to have it for a lot longer this season. For the first time in 13 years, we're through to the Carabao Cup quarter-final. And for the first time in 11 years, we've beaten Aston Villa at Villa Park. We've ended the bad run of form at Villa Park. We've got them in the league at the end of November as well. So hopefully we can, in the more important game, we can get the win there as well. The draw we've got for the quarter-final is not on our side, I'll admit, but I'll talk about that later. Let's get onto the performance first. Surprisingly or unsurprisingly, I don't know how to feel about it, but Oliver Glasner only made 3 changes from the team that won on Sunday against Tottenham, our first Premier League win of the season. Matt Turner was given his debut, and I'm glad that that sort of happened because I think he needed to play a game while he was on loan at Crystal Palace for the season to replace Sam Johnston, and Dean Henderson maybe could have done with the rest. I don't know what's been going on there, to be honest with you. And the goal he conceded, I think he should have done better from John Duran, and maybe I would have been a bit angry about it if that would have, turned the game around. And I genuinely thought it would have done because we didn't not play Adam Wharton, and I don't know why. We've got a big game away at Wolves in the Premier League on Saturday night, and it looks like he probably won't play now because that groin injury that I mentioned in the last video, it's now come to a point where it's got too much for him, and I knew it was going to. 3 games in 6 days to someone who's injured. It's not fair. It's not fair, especially in the Carabao Cup where I thought we weren't going to prioritise it because of the bad start we've had in the league this season. But Oliver Glasner thinks different. The other 2 changes that Oliver Glasner made is that Eddie Nketiah started over Ismail Assar, something that I also kind of disagree with because I think Ismail Assar deserves a run of games. I think maybe Nketiah could have done with playing over Jean-Philippe Mateta, but there is the argument that Tyrone Mings for Aston Villa come back from injury and he is quite a tall man in the box, so we need someone else to contest him. Maybe Mateta was the better option there. And the other change was that Will Hughes played over the injured Jefferson Lerma, which I think is the right thing to do because he come off injured against Tottenham inside 20 minutes of the game. Now, I've heard a lot of people say Villa weren't up for it, but they played a really strong team. Their goalkeeper and I think their right back, barely heard of them, but elsewhere they played Ian Matson, Tyrone Mings, Diego Carlos, John McGinn, Kamara, Jaden Philogene, who we should have signed in the summer, and Buendia, Jean Duran up front, who scored Aston Villa's goal. It was a pretty strong lineup. Okay, they were without the likes of Yuri Tielemans, Ollie Watkins. It could have been a much better team from their point of view, but it could have been a better team for us. Like I said, we could have played Ismail Assar, we could have played Henderson in goal. It might have been harder for Aston Villa to get past us, but it was a very good defensive performance from Crystal Palace after going 2-1 up. In terms of the goals from Crystal Palace, the goal from Eze inside 8 minutes, brilliant cross from Daniel Munoz to set him up first of all. But the Aston Villa defending can be questioned, really, because Eze is given a free header inside the box. And, all right, he doesn't score many headers for Crystal Palace, but he still is a danger man when it comes to scoring goals for us. That's his 3rd goal of the season in all competitions. And this goal to put us 2-1 up from an unlikely source, I would say. Daichi Kamada, who come on for the injured Eze, he come on. And then we had Jeffrey Schlupp come on for the injured Adam Wharton, who both played pretty well. But Daichi Kamada's goal was pretty good as well, to shoot from outside the box, to wrong foot the goalkeeper. I think it was GLC or whatever his name was. But yeah, it was a good goal and it was a good defensive performance after that. So we're through to the quarter-final for the first time since 2011 in the Carabao Cup. It's a good achievement, I must say, and hopefully we can now push on against Wolves in the Premier League, because I said in the video against Tottenham, I'd much rather win the game on Saturday than last night's game, but it's a bonus. We're through to the quarter-final. Let's talk about who we've drawn. So when I was at work yesterday at Tottenham, I watched the draw and I saw that Tottenham got drawn at home to Manchester United. And I was like, well, if Arsenal, and then it was Arsenal out next, and if Arsenal get Liverpool, we're pretty much in the clear, because the teams that were left were Newcastle. Would have been tough, we got them away, but might have got them at home, would have been all right. But then the other teams, Brentford and Southampton, it's an all Premier League quarter-final. So I would have liked one of those teams, and we got drawn against Arsenal away. On either the 17th or 18th of December, Crystal Palace will face Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium in the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup. Not the ideal draw, to be honest with you, but it's a London derby. Let's just go there and let's have it, as far as I'm concerned. Because if we win that, then we've got a two-legged semi-final against either Tottenham or Manchester United, Newcastle or Brentford, and Southampton or Liverpool. So you never know. And then it's a Wembley final. Chance to play in Europe as well, I think, if we win the Carabao Cup. Because if we don't get it through the league, I think we get like qualification into the Conference League or something like that. So it would be a brilliant achievement, but it will be a tough ask against Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. The only thing I've got hope for now is that they prioritise other things like Villa did, like the league and the Champions League as well. So you never know. And the other thing to quickly mention is that, we've got Arsenal 4 days later in the Premier League, 4 days later in the league at Selhurst Park. Reminds me a lot of last season. We played Manchester United in the Carabao Cup, lost 3-0, but then beat them because we learnt the lessons from the Carabao Cup. So maybe when we face Arsenal in the league, if we lose the game, then we learn the lessons, we go and beat them in the league. That's what I'm sort of hoping for, to be honest with you. But we're through to the quarter-final, happy with the performance. Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 2. It's a rare victory at Villa Park. Barely seen that while I've been supporting Crystal Palace, to be honest with you. So that is the end of the video. My next video will be on Saturday night for the review between Wolves and Crystal Palace in a massive, I would say, right now, relegation six-pointer in the Premier League. So massive, massive game there. But I will see you guys on Saturday. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon.